Welcome to season 6 of Travel Stories with Moush. This is the special culinary edition of the podcast where we explore the world through the lens of food with some of the most celebrated chefs and culinary experts in the region. So join me as we travel the world through food, one story, one plate, and one adventure at a time. Travel Stories with Moush Culinary Travel Series is brought to you by Emirates NBD Voyager credit cards. From takeoff to touchdown, travel simplified with the Emirates NBD Voyager MasterCard credit cards. In this special culinary episode, I am so delighted to be joined by Chef Kelvin Cheung, the creative force behind June's in Dubai. Born in Canada and raised in a family of chefs, Kelvin has cooked his way across the world, from Chicago to Mumbai to Hong Kong, bringing a global perspective to everything he creates. On this episode, we are going on a culinary journey with him across the world because his food is not just flavors on a plate. It is a reflection of heritage, travel, and the various cultures that has shaped his life. Chef Kelvin, thank you so much for joining us on this podcast, and I am really excited to go on this culinary journey with you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, the very first question of the podcast is, of course, where are you taking us on a journey today? And because this is a special episode on, on food, I'm really very intrigued to know where will you be taking us on a culinary journey today?
I think one of the most colorful of places that kind of put the finishing touches on what we've been doing, and my next kind of evolution of what Kelvin cooks is exploring Thailand. I've been blessed to meet some absolutely amazing friends who are now lifelong friends, but also some of the best chefs in the world. There's Chef Ton, who has his empire restaurants, as well as Chef Pam, one of the best chefs in the world. Them showing me not only their craft and their cooking at their restaurants, but them taking me around this journey of all these small cities and towns around Thailand. I was able to see the diversity and the balance of flavors, which is very unique to Thai cuisine. Very similar to their culture. It's the best way to describe it is always this amazing display of fireworks and light and color, because you get this beautiful sour acidity, punch, umami, spice, all blended so beautifully together. And just going from city to city and tasting this untapped gems across these small villages really expanded my palate and what I like to cook and how I like to season my food now.
I mean, Thailand's amazing, of course, one of the best places for food. But if you were to tell our, listeners today to go to that one country specifically only for food, which country would you pick?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Each cuisine, each country always has their unique, beautiful history behind it. In the very early beginnings of my career, I took a trip back to China for the very first time without my family. And that was when I was really able to explore the diversity of what Chinese cuisine actually is. And taking that opportunity just to explore the cities in the south, east, north, west, it blew my mind. And I still have only probably touched 100th, 1000th of it. But it really expanded into my perspective of what global cuisine is.
That's amazing. I mean, China is a great example, I think. And so you really think that that is one country people should go to kind of experience their food, right? And you'll be surprised.
1000%, because it would take you months just to journey into each region, just to explore the major cuisines that we have there. And each one feels like its own.
That is so interesting, yeah. But also, there are places around the world where you don't necessarily think much about their food. Like, sometimes you travel, you go there, and especially for you as a chef, I'm sure the first thing you will think about is food when you plan your travels, right? How is the food there, or the ingredients that you get over there, and how you would explore the place, depending on food. But has there been a place that's kind of really taken you by surprise, a place that you thought, the food culture would not be amazing, but is also a place where you've perhaps had some of the best meals?
So recently, I had a couple trips to Jordan, for Jordan Food Festival, and I did a collaboration dinner there. Now Chef Kais of Amman is one of my best friends, and we've traveled the world together. But when he took me around and showed me the produce that's available in Jordan, it blew my mind. I didn't know that somewhere so close, you were able to get such diverse and beautiful fruits and vegetables. So that now that when he did a collab at June's, I had asked him to bring all the ingredients over for me.
Oh, from Jordan.
Oh yeah, even something as simple as the beautiful Palestinian olive oil that he was getting, his olives, his cheese, his za'atar, his sumac. We exclusively only use the sumac that I'm getting from Chef Kais now, because it blows my mind that it's so close, yet we don't see those ingredients as much in Dubai. But it just blew my mind and how beautiful and how what a large range of ingredients they're able to produce there.
That's so interesting. So you're saying that the sumac we get here is completely different from what you get in Jordan, yeah?
Yeah, like the moment you taste the sumac that he brought me, it's this just explosion of citrus and beautiful like flavors. Whereas here you still get good sumac, but it lacks that punch that you're able to.
Still not what you get in Jordan. So for the best sumac, go to Jordan.
I always get mine from there.
Yeah, that's amazing. Now, also, street food. It's something, I mean, we don't kind of experience much here in Dubai. But sometimes in many places, street food really tells you the culture of a place better than perhaps fine dining. And in your travels and in your experience, which is that one place you think has the best street food around the world?
I have several which are kind of neck and neck. You always hear, of course, Japan and Vietnam, Singapore, but I want to say still overall, you're able to get a larger range of flavors and dynamic dishes, just from Thailand. And the standards of the food overall has exponentially grown. So the street food there, just it's my absolute favorite.
Thailand is just, I mean, it's a maze, right? As far as food is concerned, you never have enough because and I'm sure you've been there many times, especially for food. And every time you go there, you kind of experience something different and something more, and then you want to go back for more. So, don't you think Thailand is like such a great example just as a culinary travel destination?
It's one of I think it's number one in the world right now. The government geniusly years ago realized that they needed to kind of boost the local economy by bringing in food tourism as well. So they made this huge push in cleaning up the city, setting standards, so that even if you're going to some alleyway where there's this little old lady making you whatever noodles that you're making, the quality and the hygiene, everything about it, it's just affordable, it's delicious, and it's always going to be good.
That's so, so true. And I'm so glad you've endorsed it the way you have. Now, I have something interesting to ask you. Now, if your passport had, instead of visas, you would be stamped with flavors, which are the three countries you would pick?
This is a fun one.
This episode is brought to you by Emirates NBD Voyager credit cards, the credit card that turns every moment of your travel journey into a rewarding experience. Travel simplified with the Emirates NBD Voyager MasterCard credit cards.
This is a fun one. I think my first stamp would be umami, and that would be in Japan. They have perfected the art of extracting the maximum amount of flavors that you can get out of the simplest of ingredients. Their dashi broth, which is the core of all their sauces and all their cuisine, what they've been able to manipulate from these ingredients, every bite that you get is just a punch of that beautiful, mouthy kind of umami kind of feel.
Yeah.
So Japan for sure for umami. I think the second one we could probably say spice. When that would be Thailand. What I love about their food is the balance and the different complexities and usage of the spice that you can use, just to give a hint of that punch and the heat to balance out the rest of the flavors. So my second stamp would definitely be for Thailand for spice. And then my third flavor would be probably Singapore with that nostalgic kind of love heart kind of flavor profile. Going around eating at the hawker stands, it brought me back that sensation and the smell and the taste of my mother's cooking.
That's fantastic. So you're saying for umami, go to Japan.
Yes.
For spice, go to Thailand. And then we have Singapore for.
I don't know if there's a way to describe that nostalgic childhood kind of memory because the beauty of Singapore cuisine is that it's so diverse and you're able to get every single culture. You can find amazing French, Italian, Chinese, Malaysian, Singaporean, Indian, all into this one roof.
Another great place for food, actually. Yeah. And I want to quickly ask you also, because I know you spent a good amount of time in India, in Mumbai. How has that journey been for you? And what do you think about this whole food culture in India? Because it's very different, but it's also evolving, slowly but rapidly.
So India is one of the fastest growing, most dynamic F&B scenes right now. But again, Indian cuisine, thankfully now is kind of getting its time in the light and under the sun. People are finally realizing how beautiful the food is, and it's not just that um, classic North Indian butter chicken and naan situation. They're actually seeing the diversity of the cuisines. Some of my favorites, Veronica's by the Bombay Canteen Boys, Mask, the Chef Arun are changing the game. And of course, you have Chef Batik, who is just one of the most amazing chefs, and he's built this insane place up in northern India. If you have time to check out there, it's a really good time to be cooking in India.
I wanted to also quickly ask you about what is something special that you're creating on your menu here at June's?
So on our next tasting menu, with something that's super fun is we have a course that is called Kelvin's first trip back to China, and it's literally the exact bites that I can remember from each city that I went to while I went on this first trip, just as fresh out of culinary school, thinking that I knew how to cook, thinking I was going to become a chef, and then landing and tasting this food and having my mind absolutely blown. And then I realized, wow, I know nothing about food yet. And really hitting home and capturing those memories so that I can still remember those exact same bites. That first Xiaobing bite that I had in Shanghai, the first leaf wrap, which is in a place that borders Laos and Thailand. And it blew my mind that we have Chinese food that tastes almost like Thai and Laotian food because it's on the border, but it's still China. So it really kind of transformed my perspective of the landscape that these flavors all in China still taste like everywhere else in the world. So that's a really fun one that we're looking forward to.
That's very interesting. And China has had a deep impact on you. And the way you've described China and Chinese food, I think very few of us know that side of China, because when you say Chinese food, most of us will talk about the Manchurians and the other dishes, the noodles and the fried rice, but that's not it, right? And that is why we have chefs like you to kind of, show us how Chinese food can be so different and so varied. Also, you just spoke about China. But there are many places also in the world where certain ingredients are very unique to them. So, which is that one ingredient you think that everyone should know about, but is not often spoken about or known to the common people?
When I was exploring Vietnam recently,
Mm-hmm.
I discovered this herb, which is called a rice paddy herb. It's a uniquely kind of village staple. Most city folk don't even know about it. And it's used in like a multitude of facets. The farmer who was trying to explain it to us, because even he couldn't explain it, because it's something they grew up eating. It's literally something that most people threw away because it was like a wild weed that no one used. So these farmers would take the extra that no one wanted home, and they would either use it for stew, for soups, for noodles. They would cook their rice in it. They would cook their seafood in it. But it is the most beautiful combination of this herbaceous citrus note. But this rice paddy herb, if you haven't had it, head to any of Southeast Asia, particularly in Vietnam, and get your hands on it and try it.
Oh, wow. So it only grows in Vietnam.
So right now, for as far as I'm aware, the only places that do consume it, like a lot of it in abundance, is in Vietnam, Laos, Myanmar, Burma, and Thailand.
Okay, that's amazing. So that's a revelation right here on the podcast. The next question, I know you will definitely say it would probably be a hard one for you because it's difficult to choose, but which place according to you is the best place for food?
Ooh, um, super tough. At the top of my list has always been Japan for many, many years. Only because as a chef in particular, I'm always blown away by the way they have this utter relentless drive to perfect something just as one dish. You can go to a restaurant where for generations they're only cooking one dish. And it blows my mind that they can devote their entire lives to perfecting that. And you could close your eyes and just wander into any store, any restaurant, and have an insane meal of that one dish. So I think overall, Japan still is one of my top cities or countries. Sorry.
And it's such a fabulous city for everything, a country for everything. I mean, Japan, you can just kind of, go round and round because a lot of people will, when you say Japan, mostly people will say, hey, we're going to have a lot of sushi, but that's really not what you see in.
It's only the tip of the iceberg.
Exactly. And there's just so much more to discover in Japan. You've taken us to some very interesting places and so many interesting ingredients that you spoke about. The one in Vietnam particularly is one that I'm really, really intrigued about. But I'm sure there is a hidden gem that you have, because the way you explore the world from your lens is very different from the way we explore the world. So tell us, what is your hidden gem in the culinary world?
The one place that I would go back to, there is a small unagi place that is right outside the old fish market Tsujiki in Tokyo. It's a fifth generation chef-led restaurant that probably I think only has 14 seats if I'm not mistaken, and they only make unagi rice. So they get this beautiful eel, which they poach in this braising liquid, which is the same liquid they've used for generations, and they finish it on the grill over rice. But what's insane about it is that it's run by this generation of chefs who all start out their lives as boxers. So you go into this restaurant and there's these hulking 250, 300-pound men with cauliflower ears. Their fists are the size of like giant boulders. And there are these hulking men, and they serve you the most beautiful unagi rice. And anytime I travel there with my wife, we have multiple meals there.
And that's all they cook.
It's all they cook.
Wow, that's a really, really fabulous hidden gem that you gave us today. Now, I'm sure, you've explored the world. There's so many places you've been to, but there must be places you still want to explore and want to kind of find out about different new ingredients. So what's on your bucket list?
I want to do this big family trip to China because I've only been to probably 5%.
China still tops the list, I see.
Because I've had the opportunity in the last 10 years to explore almost all of India, all of Thailand, all of Vietnam, most of Europe. China is the one place where I've only literally gone to like a sliver of it. There's 95% of the country which I haven't even explored. So I am super excited not only to take my family to my family home, which I haven't been to since I was a child, but also to explore, take a deeper dive into my historical roots, where my grandparents are originally from, or great-grandparents, or where they're originally from. And I want to learn about that food.
That's going to be a very, very special.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
And there's so much that you'll come back with. I guess we'll have another episode then when you come back from your China travels, because there will be so much more to talk about, and there's so much that we don't know, about China, Chinese food, Chinese heritage. There's very little we know. There's so much more to explore. But honestly, I wish you all the best. I really hope you get to go on this fabulous trip to China and explore everything that your heart desires. And I wish you all the best, and looking forward to the new tasting menu at Cheung's. We're coming there soon to taste all of it, and wish you all the best, and thank you so much for joining us on this episode today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you everyone for tuning in today. I hope our conversations have fueled your wanderlust and inspired you to explore the world, well, through food this time. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and let us know what you thought of today's episode. Until the next time, safe travels and keep adventuring.
This episode is brought to you by Emirates NBD Voyager credit cards. Create the memories, leave the rest to us. Emirates NBD Voyager MasterCard credit cards.